Hey everybody, I want to do a really quick kind of like a components video of kind of all the stuff that you're going to get in here. Now, I know somebody just asked me, how much the game is going to be. Now, nothing's official yet, just because I still need to get some get some game pieces pretty much in order, try to figure out a couple of additional things. I don't want to mention a price as of yet, but I would like to talk about what is in the game and what all you're going to be getting if anybody actually does end up purchasing this. Now, just note that there are so many cards in this game. There's a lot of cards. I believe there's close to 900 or 1,000 cards in this game, most of which are completely unique from one another. So, I mean, it's not like, I think the clock cards are one of the only ones that are like kind of goofy, or the time cards rather, kind of goofy, where there's multiples of those, but everything else is essentially completely different from one another. So really quickly, so what I have here is you're going to get the rule book, and it's a 16-page full color rule book. And when you get that rule book, it's going to tell you everything you're going to need to know about how to play the game, and how the randomness kind of takes in place, and what cards to use and when to use them, and the setup of the game, and all that nature. So rulebook is really great. I had Kevin go through that, and he agrees that for the most part it tells you pretty much, well, not for the most part, but it tells you everything you're going to need to know, and that's what I was going for. So hence that's why it's so many pages. The next thing, you're going to get 6 assorted dice. So you're going to get D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and a D20. All 6 of those dice you're going to be using throughout the game. You'll be using the higher dice, like the D10 and 12 and the 20, later on in the dungeon as things start to kind of wrap up, unless you get some of those awesome epic loot cards, those artifacts. But you'll be getting 6 assorted dice, which I think are amazing. You'll be getting 50 damage tokens, and these are used to keep track of how much life you and the monster that you're fighting has. That way you don't have to kind of memorize that, including all the the fun adding of the amount of damage that monster you may be getting. So damage tokens, really helpful. 30 XP tokens. XP tokens are used to literally just keep track of how much experience points you have. So you need at least 10 to level up to the next level. You'll have 30 tokens. Actually, I might want to change that to 40, because we'll change it to 40. So it'll go up to 40 XP tokens there, and that way you guys can keep track of a 4-player game. Next, we have the 30 search tokens. So if you step on a dungeon tile that has, we'll kind of show you here really quick. If you step on a dungeon tile, and that dungeon tile has like a treasure on it, like this one right here, once somebody steps on this, they draw that treasure card, and nobody else can go in here. It's as if the treasure chest is empty. So you place a search token on that, and that is to keep track of what special icons have already been looked at there. Next thing I want to talk about in here is the save tokens. You don't have to worry about that right now. That's just used for a certain event card that pops up, that save point card. Next, you'll get 10 completely different heroes, and those will be ranging. I believe I may have done a video on this, but those heroes are the Alchemist, the Assassin, the Barbarian, the Druid, the Fighter, of course, the Huntress, the Mystic, the Paladin, the Thief, and the Wizard. All 10 of them are completely different. They all have their completely different abilities that make them they give them a really great feel. Like the Thief helps with money and stuff like that, and different treasures, where the Fighter's just nothing but brute force, where the Barbarian is nothing but strong and stupid strength, where the Wizard is really helpful with the spells. So really cool there. Next, you'll be getting the 10 hero avatars, and these are the little game pieces that you'll be moving around the board, and those will be coming with 4 avatar stands. So again, this plays up to 4 players, so you just slide your hero avatars, which are just small cards, into these stands, and that's what you move around the board. You'll be getting 30 gem cards, which are pretty unique and pretty new to the game. We just added that probably about a week or so ago, and those are really unique because every single gem, again, if you've ever played like any kind of RPG, you got different gems that do different things, and this is the same for this. So like a diamond will do something different than an emerald, or a sapphire will do something different from an amethyst. So really cool, unique stuff with the gem cards. Next, you'll be getting 250 monster cards, which is amazing. 250 monster cards. Every single one of them is different. Every single one, at least image-wise, they're all completely different from each other. And this is where, you know, that randomness comes into, where you'll never see the same game. You'll never see the same game, just because the fact that so many different monsters happening on each different floor. So really awesome. I really cannot wait to see all this. So you got 25 monsters per floor. So that's where that 250 comes into. So 25 times 10 there. Next, you have 50 sheep cards. And now the sheep cards are kind of like a dummy card. So these are included inside of each floor deck. And what it is, you get 5 per floor. And when you run into a sheep card, which I can show you here actually, instead of just talking about it. When you run into a sheep, what ends up happening is, when this card is drawn, this card, and all monster enhancer cards drawn this turn, then immediately end your turn. It's kind of like a get out of jail free card. It's one of those, when you enter the encounter phase, you may draw this sheep card, and when you draw the sheep card, nothing happens. You don't have to fight a monster that turn. Well, you will not be fighting a monster that turn. So it's kind of like, you know, no sweat off my forehead kind of thing. So that's a good thing. But it does mention these things called monster enhancers. And the monster enhancers, you're going to be getting, I believe, 50 of these as well. And there'll be one of each of these in each floor. And what it does is it boosts, and you'll see this in a lot of other games, it boosts your monster up. So the monster that you're fighting. So if you draw this, you place your monster over it, and it enhances the monster. So this one, for the attack boost monster enhancer, monster gains 1d8 attack until the end of the encounter phase. That's pretty hefty. But let's take a look at the reward if you beat them. If you beat them, you draw 1 treasure card from the treasure deck. That is awesome. So you get some really cool loot. First strike, same thing. You get some really cool stuff. So this one will give you some XP. And then you get to draw another treasure card, and you got some of these monster enhancers are pretty intense, like the Intimidate monster enhancer. The hero cannot evade this monster. The monster gains +2 life over max life and gains 1d4 attack until the end of the encounter phase. So this one's pretty crazy, but you get an artifact card. That is amazing. That's one of those awesome cards. So and it mentions this evade, and again, when I do a playthrough of this, you guys will see me do all of these crazy different things. And this is not so much like crazy different things, but you know, all these different options that you have as a hero in this dungeon. So really cool. So there are the monster enhancers. So moving on, you'll also be getting 50 dungeon tiles, where I believe only 4 of them. There's double of those, and those are just more of your basic rooms, or your basic dungeon tiles, where there's just really nothing in them. It's kind of just more or less a corridor, so you're just evading anything that bad would happen. But you know, everything else is completely random, and you'll be getting some awesome treasures or some potions or all sorts of crazy stuff there. So dungeon tiles are amazing. They're really cool, and I've been doing a lot of play testing with them. Though I've been using pieces of paper and just randomly selecting them. It's so much fun walking through the dungeons, because they're always changing, and they're never the same shape, which is pretty cool. The next thing you'll be getting are 200 treasure cards. 200. That means 20 completely random treasures each floor. That's great. You'll never see them. You'll never see all 200 in one game. It's impossible. There's just no way. Half the time you won't even get 5 with 2 to 3 heroes, just because not everything always works out for you. So 200 treasure cards. That's incredible. So happy that I got that many out. All of them completely different. There are no duplicates of that at all. Very, very fun. 40 potion cards. There's 2 of each, so there's 20 altogether, and you know, that doubled is obviously 40. The potion cards are really fun. They add a really crazy element to it, and this is probably the ultimate random thing. So not only do you get a potion card when you land on a potion icon in the dungeon tile, but what happens is you have to keep it in front of you, but it's placed upside down. And the only time you'll know what its effect is when you decide to drink it. So the cool thing is I thought about it when I was making the game. I was like, wow, how would I ever know a potion is a potion, or what the potion does? Obviously, if it's not labeled. The only way I'm going to know what it does is if I drink that potion, and I thought that would be a really cool element to add to this game, to where I'm like, alright, I found a potion on the ground, I don't know what it does, so the only way you're going to know is when you drink it. Now, obviously you're going to have things that'll be able to identify those potions, but, you know, if you're just going to take a shot in the dark, that's it right there, the potion cards. The next thing are those time cards, or the clock cards. You'll get 30 of those, and those will be, like I said, to keep track of, you know, how many turns you're going to be making throughout that floor. You'll be getting 40 completely random and completely separate and completely non-duplicated spell cards. Not one single one of these spell cards are duplicated, and they're so much fun to play with. Oh god, they're so much fun. Next, you'll be getting 30 completely non-duplicated event cards. Every single one of these is completely different, which is, I love that. I love that so much. I think the only one that I doubled up is the store card, and you guys, if you guys see me do the playthrough, the store card is going to be so much fun to play with, because you'll be buying new items that will come up through the treasure deck instead of actually just randomly finding it. So everything else is completely, you know, its own copy. And lastly, 30 non-duplicated, completely separate, completely different artifact cards. Those epic loot cards. So that's all that comes in the game. I'm really excited to showcase this. If you guys want to see more of this, definitely stay tuned. We'll say that. Stay tuned into this amazing game, Quest for Lost Pixel. I know I got a really small fan base, but you guys are definitely rocking it, and that's just awesome. It motivates me to keep going, and obviously with that motivation, I'm able to create like Quest for Lost Pixel, or like help you guys bring Dreamscape out to life, and it's a lot of fun for me. So other than that, that's pretty much all I got. I'm not going to take up too much more of your guys' time. I know I've come out with 2 quick videos, but I wanted to give you guys kind of a heads up of what this game is about. Again, as far as the price goes right now, nothing's for certain. Just know, because there are so many cards, that it's going to be more on the pricier end. And I can't buy in bulk because I'm not a millionaire. But you know, it is going to be on the pricier end, just because there is so much in the game. But to answer one of your guys' questions, as far as expansions, I don't plan on doing any expansions for this game, because this is it's already got so much. There's absolutely no need for expansions for this game. But as far as a complete game, I think you got it all in this game, between potions and gems and monsters and treasures and artifacts, and I mean, it's got sheep cards. I mean, that's incredible. So I'm really excited to get this game into my hands, and I hope that you guys can see past possibly the higher price point and purchase it yourselves. Again, I'm not asking for much profit at all. I think like $1 is what I'm going for, just so I can kind of even out the number. But I'm really not asking for profit. It's literally the production of this game is what's going to cost a lot. But I'm super excited regardless. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I cannot wait to showcase this once I get the physical copy in my hand, which will be happening very soon. Other than that, you guys, you just keep on rocking. Thanks for watching, everyone.